Yes, welcome to the No State Project live from the fortified compound in Mesa, Arizona, where it was just an ungodly hot day today. I spent almost the entire day outside. It said it was 108, but it felt more like 115. And I tell you, it was hot. It was muy caliente. Maybe I'll trigger a few people that way. Welcome. It is Wednesday at 7 o'clock Arizona time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time there. I'm not going to go through all that. Appreciate everyone filing in to the big show tonight. I tell you, my brain was just fried today. But I hope everyone enjoyed, and there was some really good follow-up, really good comments from last Monday's stream where I talked about the difference between civil and criminal cases. And of course, it's not exhaustive. There's a whole lot of procedure and whatnot. But those are the main differences there. So I talk a little bit more about that tonight. And because a lot of what I did was I did help. And when we did the show, a lot of people were able to get a lot of tickets tossed out over the years. Let's see if we can go to my channel here. Go to videos. And this is an easy search. You just put tickets dismissed. And we get an awful lot. You can see here there's an awful lot of tickets that have been thrown out, not just by me, but by more so, there's a bunch that I help with. But mainly these are people that listen to the show, and this is what they learned from what I did, and making their own decisions on and using their own brain and what they believe was the best defense. They defended themselves, and more times than not, we were very, very successful. And I didn't just, you could see, I didn't just do the tickets getting thrown out. We also put the train wreck. So if you go back into the archives of the show, we discussed an awful lot of train wrecks. So just for anybody who stumbles upon my channel, and they're asking themselves, well, should I, they're trying to make up their mind whether they should defend against a minor traffic ticket or not, or a tax issue. I'm not suggesting that anybody follow anything on there. This is not like, do your own research is not like medical issues where you have to be a qualified scientist, medical professional, to even understand a lot of the jargon. This is mainly plain English, and a lot of some legalese is pretty easy to on your own get the meaning of. Like the word person. The word person in basic English is not the same thing in law. It's because a person in basic English is singular, but person in law, if it's in a statute, is singular and plural. So a person can mean a whole city. Again, not nearly as sophisticated or as complicated as if you're talking about if you want to understand viruses. Do your own research when it comes to viruses. Just doing internet searches and reading stuff, it's not doing medical research. So, what I had up here. So the question is, are traffic tickets civil or criminal? Well, the big answer here, the short is they are both civil and criminal depending on what you're being charged with. However, not every jurisdiction has formally decriminalized certain traffic, because traffic historically has always been criminal, always criminal. You can see here in Arizona, and I've mentioned this for years. I've quoted this quite a few times, but it's been a while. A violation of statute relating to traffic movement control, including a statute governing parking or standing requirements, shall be treated as a civil matter. Now, if I treat you like a child, doesn't mean that you actually are a child. What they're doing here is they're treating it as a civil matter because it's easier to prosecute you. And if they were giving full-blown criminal proceedings, because that's what that traffic has historically been, is criminal. But if they were giving everybody a full-blown criminal trial, it would be great. It would clog up the courts, something awful. You could bring it to a standstill just by having everyone demand a jury trial. You got full-blown discovery and whatnot. You can cost the prosecutor's office a lot of money. And most traffic tickets, it's about money. It's about money. There's no question it's about money. I'm from New York. I know it's not that difficult to tell. And it was openly admitted years ago. I can't remember who, it was too long ago. But in the 80s, they even admitted they kept on lowering the speed limit because they weren't getting enough revenue in tickets. So if it was 65, they wouldn't get nearly as many tickets out, but they lowered it to 55. 55 on Long Island Expressway. Well, you could have a 25 mile an hour. Look, I'm catching myself here. You could have a 25 mile an hour speed limit on the Long Island Expressway and not give out any tickets, because who the hell is going 25 miles an hour? Who's going that fast on the LIE? The Southern State, you pick, the BQE, whatever, the BQE, wherever it happened to be, And who would want to go more than 25 miles an hour on the BQE anyway? Yeah, I mean, I know for myself, I had a 70 Cougar that we went to see a concert in Manhattan, and on the way back, I hit a pothole so bad, and it was so deep, I broke a leaf spring. I had to drive back from Brooklyn to Long Island, to where I lived on Long Island with a broken leaf spring. So anyway, it's about money, plain and simple, but shall be treated as a civil matter. Now, I was able to present on the show. I don't know if I have it in the videos still on my channel, but I definitely had it on my website. When you appeal a civil traffic ticket in Arizona, once it gets to the Court of Appeals or to the Supreme Court, it has a criminal designation because it's only treated as civil. See? Treated. So it depends on what jurisdiction I happen to be in when I get the ticket. It depends on the severity. Obviously, there's a difference between going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit and 55 miles an hour. One is going to be treated as civil, and the other one is going to be a full-blown criminal proceeding. So one of the things that they do, in what they may even call it, is a petty offense. So what they mention here in Arizona, when you go into the rules here, and again, depending on where I happen to be, I have to look at the local rules that are applicable for that jurisdiction there, for that court. And civil traffic here in Arizona, for example, and they don't give discovery. They don't have to give discovery until immediately before the trial. So I always made my discovery requests. And one in particular, we had a, drawing a blank on the name. It was just too hot. We had a judge in, I've mentioned this guy before, I even have pictures of him in some of the videos, where the cop said, when we went to get the discovery, the cop actually said, I'm going to let the judge take care of that. Think about that. Now, that's not the only time that has happened. Most of the time, the cop only has the ticket. He doesn't have anything else that he's going to provide. And I believe that the discovery is he's got to give us an idea of what he's going to testify to. That's the part of that's discovery. This is what he's going to testify to. But they don't want to talk. They don't want to give away. They don't want to say anything. They don't want to give discovery at all, because to the cop, 99% of the time, in my experience, the cop has nothing but absolute disgust and disdain for us when we ask for discovery. so-called law and order guys. So this one in particular, in the Scottsdale Justice Court, he said, I'm going to let the judge take care of that. I don't know. If you're new to courts, that should be alarming. Well, if you're new to the court, you may not recognize that. But anybody who's had any experience who understands even just basic court procedure, if the plaintiff is saying he's going to let the judge handle the discovery for him, I don't think that what he meant there was, I'm going to let the judge order me to do what the rules require me to do. So I'm not going to give you anything unless the judge orders me to do this. So unfortunately, the judge didn't have a problem with that. Why? Because the judge is in bed with the prosecution. I mean, that's with traffic tickets. The judge is not there to be a fair and impartial, independent decision maker. He is there to make it look good and to make what the cop is doing look good. So regardless if the scumbag cop refuses to give discovery, the judge, with a wave of his hand, just lets it go. Just lets it go. Phone goal. What are the rules? The rules are only written for us, and they're written for the poor. The rules don't apply to the rich and the privileged. They don't. Again, two-tier justice system. If you're rich and you're privileged and you're powerful, the rules don't apply to you. And if for some reason they are, you just get a token fine. Whatever. So, depends on the jurisdiction that we happen to be in. So, traffic can be civil and they can be criminal. And there could be time. I mean, DUIs, driving while intoxicated, that's a traffic ticket. In Arizona, there's no tolerance there. You're going to do time on your first offense. You're going to do time. You're going to go to jail. And you should. Anybody who is reckless and with an automobile, and especially using alcohol and drugs, yeah, you have shown that you do not belong in civilized society. You have no concern whatsoever for other people's lives. To get behind the wheel drunk, no, that's where if you've got the goods on somebody, they were driving while intoxicated or stoned, they belong in jail. I'm not for private prisons and private jails, of course. And that's also one of the benefits of the rich and the powerful. They have vested interests. Like what's her name? I can't think of any names here today. She was a governor here in Arizona, and she had a monetary interest in the private prison system, CCA. As governor, that's when they made Jan Brewer. So she had a monetary interest. She was making money when more people were in the private prison. And so what did she do? With the stroke of a pen, she created thousands and thousands and thousands of criminals out of people who were immigrants. So there's a lot more that we can go into here. I don't have the time to do that tonight. I do want to get to, I'm going to try to take some calls. So I didn't mention that you can go to my Discord server and you can join me there, or it's Mark Stevens NSP on Discord. And we can try to get some calls there. So excuse my editing. Somebody asked me, there was a comment, why do I use as the thumbnail, why am I using the pride flag? Because it's Pride Month, and it brings out the homophobes that I can then block. So that's why. I'm just surprised that anybody would follow an anarchist show that was homophobic. I don't get that, but okay. So we'll get to the comments. Let me see what we've got going on here. Aloha, mahalo. Isn't criminal man versus man and civil contract versus contract? And I'm referred to as a sovereign citizen, which I am not. Another reason to use the anarchy flag, you know, the anarchy pride. No, criminal can include persons, corporations, LLCs. So you see that the Trump business, the Trump organization, is criminally indicted. There's no reason not to indict a corporation, especially since corporations, I don't need that just yet, since corporations cause, and artificial entities cause an insane amount of damage to society, just an insane amount of damage. It's I don't have the time to get into that, but we can just look at for a moment. We just look for a moment at the investor class, BlackRock, and these big, even Zillow, these big corporations that deliberately drove up the price of real estate and rent, that the damage that they have caused by doing that since 2020, when they really, really ramped it up, where it wasn't enough to go $1,000 or $2,000 over asking price. No, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 over asking price, deliberately driving up the cost. Hey, because when you have on your books tens of thousands of single family homes and you're raising the cost, you're raising the price 10%. My gosh, you're making billions and you're throwing people out in the street. So corporations can people through corporations can commit just unfathomable amount of damage to society. Civil is not contract versus contract because you have torts. So civil law, you have contract and tort. So I think what the rule is, any civil action or any cause of action that is not arising from a contract dispute is a tort. So a tort is a violation of a known legal right or duty known that causes loss, harm, or injury. A cause of action in contract is the breach of a contractual obligation or duty that results in the damage. So, my dog Rex isn't criminal man versus man and civil contract versus contract. No, that's absolutely false. Not true whatsoever. Dave, I'm so proud of you, Mark, for coming back strong and making these videos for us. I appreciate you. Glad to be here. My dog Rex isn't being actively engaged in commerce one of the elements of traffic. No. This is an old sovereign citizen patriot stuff from the 90s that the word traffic. Yes, traffic can mean that. It's not the only use of the word. Just like in law, person, that's why they define the things. Person can mean a man or woman, or it can be a corporation, or it could be a city. It could be a so-called state. So, no, it's not. That is patriot mythology from 30 years ago that hopefully dies a quick, it's not a quick death at this point, but hopefully it dies soon. Bad drivers or reckless drivers, should they do time as well? Yes. If you are driving recklessly and you drive so poorly that you're endangering other people's lives, you should not be around, and you certainly, at the very least, you should not be allowed behind the wheel of a car. This is sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. It's just the phrase that's used. It doesn't matter the logic of it. That's the phrase that is used to describe certain. And a lot of people they self-identify that way. So the important thing there with the sovereign citizen is that the FBI has classified them as domestic terrorists. So it's no surprise that scumbags, critics, the two or three that they absolutely will not describe me as an anarchist, given my history, given my arguments, given the logic and the reason that it's all on my, it all in the, so many is 600 something videos and shows. It's done to poison the well. That's it. It is so that somebody who doesn't have any familiarity with the work that I've done will hear that phrase and automatically discount everything that I have to say. And that's the only reason why these piles of murder will do that. They will not say, even self-proclaimed anarchist Mark Stevens. No, they have to poison the damn well before you even know anything about me. So why would anybody go and look at my videos and look at the actual evidence when I've been smeared as a sovereign citizen? So, to this lawyer or these lawyers, Vafangul, I'm not a sovereign citizen. I mean, I could get up here and I could actually show the face of that scumbag in Kansas, and I could slam him. I could very well make things up about him, but I kept it truthful because I'm not the one that's misleading people. It's these scumbag lawyers. Traffic is not traffic. The question was, isn't being actively engaged in commerce one of the elements of traffic? Or I took that as a traffic ticket or a traffic complaint. So, no, it's not possible to ban stupid people before, but if you've got somebody with a history and it's obvious that they're very reckless and putting people's lives in danger, it's just like the old stupid libertarian thing that, hey, it's okay to just shoot a gun over a crowd's head, as long as you don't hurt anybody. Just like it reminds me of the stupid libertarian and the edgelord anarchist thing that you could do whatever you want in your property and you could change your mind. So if you're up in a plane and you just decide, their libertarians actually made these stupid arguments that you could just change your mind and throw them out of the plane. Because they're trespassing. It's your property. It's this fetish. It's like a fetish with property that it's the be all end all. That there's no respect for human life whatsoever. It's just it's my property, and if I want, I'm fully in my right as a property owner to throw you off the property, even if that's a moving plane. Alright, so let me see what I can do over here. I am very low on time. I'm going to try to get a call. So I'm going to go. Again, I shouldn't do this on a live broadcast, but all right. I think I'm voice connected. Do we have so somebody wants to join me on the air? Oh man, I do not like the. I mean, it's so much easier on Skype. With all the problems with Skype, it's still so much easier. So did we have somebody? All right, you guys let me know in the comments here. Do clerks have to sign their filed stamp? Do complaints have to be filed by somebody with standing or personal knowledge? No. No, but the witnesses that are relied on have to have personal knowledge. You can recite the facts, but when it gets to trial, the witnesses have to have personal first-hand knowledge. But if you're signing an affidavit, you are stating whether it's, let's say, like particular, it's civil in particular. There's a Rule 11 at the federal level that you've done a reasonable investigation, and you are on information and belief is the phrase that the facts as alleged are true. You may not have personal knowledge, and you don't need personal knowledge as a complainant. But the witnesses do, and you do have an obligation to do a reasonable investigation into the facts that you're alleging that you could be reasonably certain that they are true as alleged. So, Okay. I hate stupid. We've done this before, so I'm connected. I just don't. I'm not getting. Let me check my user settings here. Maybe I have. Maybe I don't have his. No, well, I hate stupid, which I love the username. We've done this before, and you connected and you were speaking. I just don't hear. Just don't have audio. No, it's not coming out at all. Dang it. I can't. Yeah, all right, I can't do this on a live stream anyway. What I'll do is maybe you could square me away off the air. My name's Mark Stevens. I got to cut this this short because my camera is going to go, and we've covered enough of the material now. Okay. Yeah, I'll cover this when we do I should be, probably be live on Monday. We'll get more into this, but I want to be able to take callers. So let me get this squared away with I Hate Stupid. And hopefully on the Monday broadcast, I will have this squared away and we can take callers for most of the stream. So, so traffic tickets, they are civil and criminal. Sometimes they are treated as civil so that it's easier to prosecute you. So you have to know. So I would have to know, depending on what jurisdiction I'm in, I have to make sure and find out exactly what the rules are governing that particular kind of procedure. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. I'll be back Monday at 7 o'clock and hopefully get this Discord server audio issue straightened out. I Hate Stupid is going to do that here in a couple of minutes. So till Monday, salud.